Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today, we're working on a pattern bag. That one right there, it's called B. We've done a few of these already. There's actually only one more to do, and that's that one down there, because we've done these ones anyways. And this is my little sample. Okay, I did this just to make sure I understood what was going on. Everybody was happy. I do have a bunch of discounted zippers, so I know you probably wouldn't have picked 10 for this, but I'm not going to buy out a zipper when I have a bunch of, ones that I can use. So, and then here is my inner pocket, and I will show you how to make said inner pocket. Very easy, okay? So let's just zipper that back up. So you have lining and outside, okay? And then a couple of straps and 2 zippers. You need a 9-inch zipper and I think a 16-inch zipper. Let me just double check with that. Of course, you can have it even a little bit smaller if you wanted or something like that. Notions, it says 9 inches and 16 inches. So yes, I was right. Okay. And you need to cut 2 handles. And I found that this width right here is 3 inches. So you cut it a 3-inch strip, about 20 to 24 inches, depending on the handle length you're looking for. If you're looking for more of an over-the-shoulder sort of bag, maybe a little longer. If you're looking forward to something that just sits right here in the crook of your arm, like a little, I don't know, portfolio bag or something like that, office papers, library stuff, then that's perfect right there, or even just like this right there. So, I think take that into adjustment if you're, I got bigger arms, so it'll probably fit you just fine, but, if you wanted it over like that, okay? And you can always stabilize the handles too. It doesn't say that in here. Okay, so I got one handle made of my second choice of fabric, and here is my other one. And of course, I pressed them about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch on the inside, and then flip over, and then I'll stitch down both sides, stitch there, and that'll be the second handle done. Okay. Put that off the side. When you're cutting the pieces out, you need 4 through 9 of the pattern pieces, so there's not a lot. Number 6 is the tiniest one right there. I did mine just a little bit bigger, and that just wraps the ends of the 2 zippers on this side right here, just to make sure you're covering up the little ends. Makes it a little bit, more professional, okay? Here is a stabilizing pocket. This is actually in the bottom of the bag. I will show you here. And it is for slipping a chunk of cardboard or mylar or something else like that in the bottom. Stick it in the little pocket, and that actually helps stiffen up the bag to square it up. It gives it a nice firm bottom. You don't have to put that in there if you don't want to. I figured I'd build it just in case. I've got cardboard, and it's always election season, that little mylar boards everywhere. So you can always just, once election, so season's over, go grab the ones that have been posted on your lawn and cut it up to the size you need. Okay, there is a template in here for the size for it. So. Don't forget to do that, okay? So that's for that little inside pocket, okay? And here is the lining for the pocket that's on this inside. That's where the zipper is going to go. We're going to end up putting the zipper in here, and then after we do that, this bottom flips up to the top, and then we actually have this cute little size pocket. You can make it bigger though. It's up to you, You can have a chance to make it a little longer, make it a little wider. These are these options that you have that you get to select and choose from when you're building out a pattern, okay? So I still have a little bit to cut out. That's, of course, for my lining front pocket. I could have had a different color. It doesn't matter. I tried to be the same color as my lining, which I chose blue. And then I have, again, this very pretty little fabric for my outside of the bag, okay? So, and of course, these 2 I'm making up. I'm going to end up giving away as gifts for Christmas. I'm thinking about Christmas already because it sneaks up on you. I think I had my zippers. I thought I took 2 out. I probably put them away. Hold on. There we go. Grab 2 more. There. And there. Okay. All right, so those will be my 2 zippers. And of course, I know this is longer, but you just end up cutting it where you need to. So, all right, so let's finish doing this one here. We'll get my little ruler. Move this out of the way and that out of the way because I don't want to cut into it. And I'm just going to finish cutting this one out. And of course, I like to use the nice edge of my ruler and of course my rotary blade to get me where I want to go. Okay. And I find if you just kind of hug the other side of the paper, you're not cutting the paper, but you're still getting a nice straight line. See, just like that. Okay. Now here's, like I said, your opportunity if you want to make yourself a bigger pocket, because your pocket will be about half of the size. Okay, so just put those off the scrappy bin. Okay, because it says bottom of the pocket full line. Up here you're going to end up having to stitch all the way around. Okay, so let's put those there. Okay, put that off to the side. We know what that is. Okay, now we need to finish. I just stacked the pattern from when I cut out my main fabric, and then I stacked it right on top of my lining fabric and was giving it a cutout. So grab my nice sharp scissors, and I tried to utilize the fabric as much as possible. So I'm really close on the bottom here, but as long as I make a tiny notch, I know where those little spots where I got to match up. So I'm not too worried about it. That is just on the fold, and it's just a tiny little fold. Okay, and when it comes to these points right here, these little arrows that point out, you don't want to clip it off or go in. You want to come outwards, because those are little notches you end up lining up. There's some for the handles right here. There's two at the top where you're going to place in your handles, and then there's one at the bottom to make sure everything's nice and center. And then these ones right here are actually help you build out the bottom of the bag to that little square bottom, but you're tucking it in on the inside. I've never done that before, so it was a little unusual. I had to read the pattern a couple times going, what do you want me to do? I was a little confused. All right, so we're just going to finish cutting this pattern out. Like I said, you could use your rotary cutter. I have to be wary of the notch, so I just figured I'd use my scissors. I don't want to take my notch off. I like to keep it still attached, because they become important. That's why they're there. Okay, so there's that little bit. I think I just got to come up over on this side. And I found it easier to come in on both sides, to go like this, and then like this, to notch out, and then work my way, you know, from right to left, and then left to right, whatever works for you, you know. Okay, two. And I just have plain blue, like it's just a solid blue. So there's but because I thought the outside was a bit busy, so I didn't want to make the inside too busy. Okay. All right, so take these pins out. And now what you want to do, we're going to stick that pattern to the side. We leave our outside off to the side over here, and then we need one piece of our lining, okay? Because that's what we're going to build our pocket on, okay? Now, and in the pattern, okay, we know that the notches at the top, which I didn't quite get, but that's okay. I know where the notches are up here, and they're on the other one, and the little notch on the bottom, that this is the top and this is the bottom. And I need to make sure I'm going to place my pocket the way it needs to be. So now it does tell you, and you're looking at it, you're going, okay, well, I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense, but it does. So what I did is I did a little mock-up one to make sure I was understanding what it was wanting me to do. It wanted me to put the right side of the lining and the right side of the pocket together, and then drawing that little line, do a stitch around the whole line, and then cut inside the line, and then make these little tiny cutout points to the corners to pop all the way out. I'm like, okay, well, how's that going to make me a pocket? All right, well, let's figure this out. And then it says turn it right side out. I'm like, all right. So I flipped this to the inside and took the bottom part of the pocket and pulled it right through the hole. Okay. And when you line it up, you have this beautiful stitched around pocket. So, and this is what the lining is. This is going to be the inside of your lining. This is the inside, and this is the inside of your pocket. So once you go and you put your zipper down, it tells you to put the zipper down face down, either by taping it or basting it. I just put pins in it and switched my foot out, and then sewed right along all the way around, clipped off the extra, and that gives you your zipper right there. And then it tells you to take this pocket up here, fold it up to there, and then do a little stitch all the way around, and it'd be magic. There's your pocket. Isn't that cute? So awesome. I was like, okay, I got this. I got this, no problem. Sometimes I have to do a little tester first to make sure I can wrap my brain around it to make sure I'm understanding what it's asking me to do. Okay, I'm sure I'm not the only one. All right, so I'm putting my paper pattern back on, and of course this is blue and blue. Some's a bit shiny, doesn't really matter. Did I get the shiny? I can't quite tell. It seems both shiny to me. Okay, I'm gonna get it lined up to where the pocket is gonna sit, okay? Just like that, okay? All right. I'll just slip the pattern out, kind of give it a little pressure, but no pressure. And if you want, this is where you can make sure everybody's nice and even. You know, it's like 3 inches away from the top. That's pretty much what the placement was. And then you want to make sure you get your little line where you want to put your zipper. Okay, but you need to give yourself a little bit at the top here. You can't go right up to the top. You need to give yourself like at least an inch. Okay, and then just mark your line of where you want your zipper to go. Okay, make sure it's nice and even. And of course, as deep as you want it to go, depending on your, so you could have a bigger pocket and come all the way out to here. And you do the same principle if you wanted your pocket to be on the outside. Just the same thing. You just have to just kind of reverse a little bit, okay? So I know I want those to stay there, so I am going to pin the rest of this down in place. I know I'm only going to be sewing up in here, but I don't want things to shift because this is going to be the bottom of my pocket when it comes folded up on the fold, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is going to come around here, stitch, stitch, all the way around. Just the width of my foot that I have here, just my high performance foot, my little thin foot, and we'll go from there, okay? Let's move some stuff off the side here. It's always a big production when you're following a pattern. There's always stuff everywhere. Okay. All right, so I need to start in from one side. There we go. And then just work my way around. And just gave like the width of the foot, the difference that I needed. Because you don't want a huge space for your zipper. You just want to make sure you're having enough for the zipper to go in and a little bit of fabric for it to be stitched down on. Okay, and then turn, just pivot, nice sharp corners. Okay. All the way, pivot, and then do a little back stitch, okay? And we're gonna cut that line, okay? We're gonna go back over here. See, we're just gonna cut that right on that line right there, okay? Right there. It's a little pencil line, and we're just gonna cut right in between the little circle that are square rectangle that I just stitched out, okay? Now you can use your rotary cutter or you can use your scissors, whatever it is you're more comfortable with. I like to go, before I come in to nip the corners on a Y, I like to come about a ½ an inch away from them on both sides and then come in and do the rest with the scissors. Okay, all right. So here, get a little closer and clip. And clip, okay? And then the next, get just a little closer, and then clip and clip, okay? Now, we unpin these, and we do exactly what I did for that one there. We're gonna take that, push it through, take this, and flip it up. So we're tucking the pocket to the back side of the lining. We started on the front, but we're tucking it to the back, okay? And just like that. Super cute, okay? And of course, you can always just give this a little press. Give those little intersections a little tug to straighten out the threads, okay? Come here, you. Not just fighting with me. Okay. Put a little pin in there, put a little pin in there. That's just pinning up the top part, little flappy bit there, okay? Just so I can go, and then we'll give it a little press. Okay. Just roll them if you have to. Roll the two seams so you have it so it's nice and flat. You're looking at the stitches. You know, you can see the, you know, how the line, the seam meets together on both sides. Okay, take that one out. There we go. Just it'll sit a lot better when you're trying to put the zipper on. Okay, you're not going to be fiddling with the fabric as much. Now this would be a great way to display some fabric, or you had some like soft velvet stuff, and you can of course put a pocket on both sides. You know, you put a pocket on both sides and then, you know, one on either side of the front. You know, the only limitation is your imagination. Okay, so there it is. And then once we get that zipper in, we're just going to fold that up, and then that's our pocket right there. Super cool. Okay, so what it asks us to do is to face down the zipper. Okay, and it doesn't matter whether this is open or closed at this point in time because you're not sealing it up. Okay, and I'm going to put that right in there. And I am going to pin it with my little edged foot. I can get right beside the zippers. Okay. Pinning it there, and I'm going to pin it all the way to the other side, making sure it's nice and evenly placed in the space. Okay, pin that end first. There. And there. Okay, and there we go. There's our zipper, nicely pinned in. Okay. I think I'll move it to halfway point, and then I can always move it the other way so it's not getting anywhere near the head of the sewing machine. Okay, so now we're just going to stitch this down on this side and stitch this down on that side. Okay, and that helps enclose our little pocket. Okay, take your pins out as you go. Need them. I'll need them again. Hopefully I did flip this the other way the last time, so hopefully I'm getting everybody in the pool. All right, so let's move the zipper head to the other side. Line this up again. And hopefully I am getting the blue fabric on the front. If not, we'll be seam ripping. And just do a little back stitch. And we'll check to see. Oh, there we go. Got it all the way. Very nice. Okay. Now we could either flip and do the front side by taking the pins out, but I think we'll just do what we were doing and just sew the other side right where it is. Make sure we're lining it up. And stay away from those little metally bits. Yeah, that'll snap a needle real quick. Okay, now let's open it all the way, making sure to still line up the blue with the with the part of the zipper. Okay, foot up, move the zipper all the way to the front. So you don't want to be hitting that. Okay. Oh. Okay. There we go. There's our beautiful zipper. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And of course we don't need this excess, so we're going to trim it off, but first we're going to stitch it down just a little bit. Go back, forth, and back, just to be on the safe side. Okay, now we get to cut that off. We don't need that anymore. Or that pin. Okay. And you don't need those for, I can't find a use for those, and trust me, I've done a lot of zippers. Okay. All right, so there, that is done. Now we take the bottom part and come all the way up to the top, and this is where I was doing a little pinning as well to make sure it was keeping things nice and aligned. And you just go all the way around. Now I'd probably put a double seam on this if you're going to be using that pocket a lot, and you know don't want your seam to split. You know, that's, or just do a nice straight stitch. a nice close one into back stitch as well, especially. Oh. That was good timing. Now we're out of thread. Whoa. Oh, not for long. There's always thread in this place. I should have checked that before. Sorry. Okay, I always like to give myself a nice clean thread before I try to get through that eye of the needle. I find just a less stressful than trying to do it with a fuzzy thread or, you know, one that's not freshly cut. I don't know, it just seems to be easier. Okay, and you just move that edge out of the way to seal it up, okay? Okay, you see how I just moved that out of the way? And then just gonna come down straight to the top. And then the other side, okay? Take that out now. Oh. Let's move that out of the way at first. It was kind of banging up the corner there. That was the head of the zipper. Okay. Oh, shoot. I didn't want to stitch it all the way. I just want to stitch the part. My mistake. Just want to stitch this part, not stitch it down onto the lining. Trying to close up the top of the pocket. Okay. Let's move that there. Let's cut the threads. Move that out of the way. And of course, again, you managed to catch the back of that zipper, so you don't have to worry about your zipper head going right out. Okay. And there is our beautiful zipper. Okay? Zipper pocket. It's a good size too, you know, comes down to the tips of my fingers. So, you know, but like I said, the choice is yours. That's what it ends up being on the inside of the bag. So you can make it a little lower if you want. I wouldn't make it too low because you gotta, you know, these edges actually end up coming up to here to get tucked in to make that corner edge. So, you know, only a little bit longer I would make it, okay? All right. Oops, did I get that pinched in there? I probably did. Yes, I did. Oh, I was wondering why it was sitting a little funny. Oh, it's just gonna be one of those days. It's okay. Deep, calming breaths. Deep, calming breaths. No angry face. No angry face. It's just a little pinch of that fabric. I was wondering why it was kind of pinching up on the side. I'm like, that doesn't look right. Not sitting as flat as the other one. Okay. Is it compromised or did it just get... I think we're okay. Just got a little folded under. Okay, perfect. All right, now we get to build the rest of the bag. And that was the hard part, really. Honest to goodness, that was the hardest part that you're probably ever gonna do. Okay, on this pattern. Okay, so let's tidy up some stuff around here. Good gravy. Bomb went off. All right, let's do the handle. I just put all the stuff in the way. Now I'm going to move it all out of the way. Oh, it's okay. Sometimes you just have those days, you know. So I folded that under just a little bit, gave it a little press between a half and a quarter-ish. This material is very, very flexible. It's actually some of the material that my girlfriend's dad, his sister, was coming from Thailand, and this was some of the stuff, and I couldn't figure out what to do with it until now. I'm like, oh, they make a great bag. I didn't really want to put it in a quilt because it wasn't quite just enough, you know. It was only, you know, 1.5 meters and 1.5 meters, so, or a meter. All right, now we're going to take it and flip and do the other side. Because you're going going to have to add the handles to the outside before we can proceed by adding any more of the lining. Okay, that's 2 handles done. I like how they kind of turn different colors, even though they were just kind of stripped from each other. But, you know, just the way the pattern goes, right? One's a little bit more blue and the other one's a little bit more orange. Okay, all right, so let's move that out of the way. Now, this is your little pocket, like I said, on the bottom. If you want to do it, you can do it. Okay, let's move over here. All right, so now we've done the pocket. We're good there. Done that. Done the handles. Okay, place handles to bag. Place at top, centering, ends at notches, and stitch across. Repeat for the other side. Okay, so that is here. I'll grab a couple of pins. And here's our notches, and I put my handle right in the center of that notch. Okay. And make sure it's not twisted when you go to the other side. So when you go and pick up the handle, it's all nice and straight. You know, got no twist. Okay, line it up so it's nice and straight. You're not pinning it on an angle. Okay, so that's the one side done. 2 pins, and then we'll just stitch those ones in place. Okay. Now again, making sure. Okay, yeah, you can always do a test before you start stitching stuff down. All right, so let's put those 4 in place, okay? Stitch really close, like a T, an 1/8. Okay, take the pin out. Okay. Okay, there's one. All right. And this one. Oh, shush. All right, that one didn't end up quite in the center as I was hoping. So let's move that over just a little bit. Line it up better. Okay, and then stitch those 2. Okay, so now that step is done, you want to work on the other zipper, okay? So this is where I was cutting it at the 16 mark. So let's just line that up at a 10 here. All right, so I think I just went a little bit more than that. Okay, and then we had these 2 little pieces here. So what you want to do with this piece, I cut mine a little bit bigger just because it gives me some more meat to work with. You kind of want to flip it so you're going to tuck the raw edge under, and then again tuck it so the raw edge is under. So when you go and see this, when it sits beside the bag, you're not looking at a raw edge. It's actually tucked under nice and neat. Okay, so that's why I did mine just a wee bit bigger. And I was going to press it a little bit up on this side and a little bit up on this side, because you end up sewing these ones in. So don't worry about the side bits. Just worry about the side, the parts that's going to come on the top and the bottom of your zipper bottom and front, okay? Oop. Whoa, whoa. Got tangled up there. Okay, so just fold that under just a wee bit. Because you don't, like I said, you don't want that raw edge. You don't want to see it. You want it tucked under and secured up against the zipper. And it's just giving you little pretty tabs. So your zipper's not just tucked into the bag, it actually has little starts and stops to them. It's quite pretty. I think it looks prettier anyway. So, all right, so you want to do that for both the front and the back. And this one, you just want to make sure you're lining up. You can unzip it a little bit and then make sure you're sticking those 2 in there. Just like that. So they're getting sealed up, okay? And then I'd put a pin to make sure it stays. Okay, that did not line up. Which one? You want to keep those little silvery stopper bit teeth at the top nicely aligned. Okay, okay, better. And then the same for here, tucking the two edges around the back end of the zipper. Okay. And then it just asks you to stitch down. It tells you to cut off, but I found out those little tails were actually helpful to when you're sewing things together right there. So I just left them. I figured they're not in my way. Why bother? So, okay. Okay, so just do a little stitch. Secure it in place. Okay, that's the front, or the back, sorry. And now the front. Make sure it's lined up the best you can. Like I said, some of it's going to be tucked away. Come here, you. I had it. And then I lost it. Sounds like my sanity. Come here, you. Oh, if I only had like 12 more hands, things would be a whole lot easier. Okay. Do. And do. Something like that. You are not want to work with me. Oh, you know what? Let's outsmart the zipper. Keep them close a little bit better there. Haha. We'll get this. 5 minutes later, the time clock ticks. Okay, we just want to get those edges all tucked in. Okay, we got it. Thought it was going to win in the end, but putting up a fuss. All right, so there's your little sewing parts on either end, okay, to help secure your zipper. Okay, now it's asking you to place it, pin right side of zipper to right side of one bag piece, okay? So here's our right side. That's the good side, not the back side, okay? So the right side of a bag. And of course, depending on left, right to left, however you put the zipper on, it doesn't matter unless it was sort of, you know, directional fabric in the front and you only zippered from left to right. I don't know, it doesn't matter. You'll figure it out. And then you want to pin this down, okay? And then when we sew this, we're going to sew it on this side, so when we go to flip it, it's all nicely tucked together. It looks really pretty. It looks like it's a very finishing touch to it. Okay, we don't need the rest of that. Okay, so let's evenly pin this up. Stretch our little blue tabs to where they need to be equally. That's why I kind of left them bit there. So I thought it just helped make sure everybody was sticking together. Okay, that seems even to me. I'm just going to pin, I'm just pinning that zipper, this edge right here. It is face down because when you go to turn it the right way, it's a nice smooth edge and all the raw edges are all tucked in. Okay, so I just put one on each of the handles. Let's make sure we're all stitching together. And then to the other side. Okay, down here. And I just did one side at a time. And then you'll do the same to the opposite side, stitching this to the right side of the fabric, okay? So let's move that into the center. And it's always a good idea when you see zippers on sale to, you know, snap a few up. You never know. Get a couple of fun projects and you can add some pockets and some closures. Okay, now foot up. Stretched it all the way to the other side. Making sure the raw edge of my fabric and the edge of my zipper are together. Okay, and then only removing the pins as I need as I get to where I'm going. Okay, that's one side done. Okay, There we go, and that's what we've done. We've stitched it, so when we go to flip it over, we can actually use that zipper, right? Okay. All right, so the next, let's take this and line it up. Okay, lining it up with the previous one, and then we're just going to put our pins in. Okay, but I have to pin it this way. Sorry. And line your fabrics up too. Okay, your edges of your fabrics, your sides. Okay, you don't want one this way and that way. You want to make sure they're nice and equal. So go from the edges out over, and then just slide it down to where it needs to be pinned against the raw edge fabric together. Okay. And then do the same on the other side, and that way you should have nice and even placement of the zipper on the fabrics. This is a good place too if you want to put a little tab to be able to hook your keys into, if you have those little beaners or whatever, little clasps, sorry, something like that that helps keep your keys handy. Or you can make one on the inside. Okay, all right, so there we go. That's all pinned. Okay, so when I get that all sewn together, it looks like my bag. So you don't even have to put a lining in if you didn't want. If you had a stiffer fabric, like maybe a tough upholstery fabric or something like that, you wouldn't even have to put a lining in. You could just make the bag just like that. Okay. All right, back under here. Going to make sure my foot is down, or my needle is down, my foot up, so I can take that zipper head and move it all the way to the front, so I know it's not getting in the way of the stitching that I need to do, okay, to get these edges together. All right, okay, super duper easy peasy. Okay, now that is done, okay, we've got our cute little bag, very flopsy bag, but it could be a great shopping bag, nice and easy, nice big zipper on things too, make it a cooler bag. All right, so now what we want to do here is we want to following the same procedure. Okay, we did that same thing. Okay, now go to the other side. It says pin right side of lining piece to wrong side of zipper with edges even using zipper foot stitch. Well, I find this little foot works just as good, so I didn't have to keep switching up my feet. Okay, so we have the wrong side. Hold on. I did actually had to do it twice on this one. I got slightly confused, but that's okay. It happens, shiny objects and all that sort of fun stuff. I think I wanted to go this way. There we go. Lay it flat. Okay. So what we're going to end up doing is taking one of these inside lining pieces, okay, and we're going to once we flip the handles out, because we certainly don't want to get the handles into the inside of the bag. Okay, it says pin right side of one lining piece to wrong side of zipper with edges even. Okay, so we're going to go like, hold on, it took me a minute. We want to go, okay. I think I had it. I'm confusing myself more than I absolutely need to. That doesn't take much. Okay. All right. Now, I think what it was asking us to do was to take this piece here and stitch it along, and then it gets flipped to that side, but I think I did the wrong one here. Okay. There we go. So stitch here, all the way there, okay, and then that gets, there we go, okay, we got that. So sometimes you just kind of got to go over the motions. Okay, let's pin that in place. Making sure you're lining up your lining and your outer bag. Okay, all the way across. Okay, now you want to do the same to the other side too, because when you flip this over, that's what's going to give you your inner and your outer all nicely sealed, just like this. You got no raw edges, okay? You've sealed it up on both sides. You've flipped and you've flipped. That's just a little part to get your brain around. If you think about it, and you like do the faux pinning and then do the flipping, and then you're like, okay, I got this, or no, that's not working. I got to do it the other way around, okay? All right, so let's sew that one. Make sure I got everything together, which I think I do. If not, we know how to use the seam ripper. And we know how to sing a song. We can sing the seam ripper song. Soon we'll have to sing I've Got No Thread. Okay, do. Sealing those two raw edges from the inner and the outer around that zipper. Okay, the zipper is that middle point. Okay, now do the same to the other side. Keep rolling over stuff, I keep dropping. Okay, see, there we go. Look how pretty that is. All right, so now we're just going to do the same to the other side. Okay. Like I said, it takes a moment sometimes to wrap around your brain about what you got to do, but you can do it. Okay, here's, oh, this one actually did have a notch on it. I mean, because it's just blue, I don't think it really completely, except it's really full of threads. It doesn't completely matter. Because I think they're both shiny sides. Anyways, that'll be the inside anyways, and it does seem to be just shiny as the first side. So let's flip that over. Get it all lined up. Okay, so that's what you're doing. You're sticking the good side, the zipper, and the lining all together with that zipper right in the center. Just trying to show that small camera there, see if it would help. Okay, pin that all the way up to the end, making it nice and even. Okay. And always, if you're getting really confused or it's overwhelming, just sit back, relax. Don't think about it for a time or two, and then go back and read it again. And sometimes you'll be amazed how much a pattern sounds or reads differently if you're just at a different frame of mind, especially if you're getting frustrated. I find that's nothing faster to ruin a mood and a fun sewing session time is misunderstanding instructions or not being able to understand them correctly, or Okay, I do have the zipper head is there. Okay, now we're almost there. Almost there. Okay. Now we have our two insides and our two outsides, and we should have ourselves a nice big bag. Okay. So what it asks you to do here is to sew these two together and then these two together. Okay. So we'll just sew, and it's just the bottom edge. You're just going to do the bottom edge from corner to corner. Okay. And I'm sure there's many more different ways you could do this to get a nice clean finish on the inside, but this has two somewhat raw edges down the sides of it. So, but I thought maybe you can make a pocket, but then you can't get the bottom fold part right. So, I don't know. I'm sure there's another way, but I'm going to follow the pattern instructions. Okay. And now we're just going to line that up again on the bottom. The machine keeps telling me it's going to run out of thread, the bobbin thread. And I'm just asking it very nicely if it could just wait to the finish of the project, because I really don't think I loaded up another one. And it's not, because I've already ran out. Oh, I have a little bit here. This should get us through. Hopefully. Maybe not. Probably not. Trying to save every little bit of it. I use a lot of thread in this place, let me tell you. A lot of thread. Okay, so that's the top and the bottom done. All right, now, now it wants you to line your pieces up so you are sewing the sides together. Okay, here, I think it wants to do us on the inside here, so let's try and turn this around. Push it through here. Okay. All right, so we're lining up the bottom, the seam to seam, lining up there. Okay, shake it, shake it, shake it. Come on, move over here. Now over there. See, this is where I was thinking, maybe if we kind of sewed part way and then flipped and turned, but like I said, I'm just going to follow the instructions that they have, and I'm just going to, play by the rules for once in my life. And these are your little triangle notches that we were cutting out. That is all lining up. See, it's on our lining and it's on our outer fabric, okay? So let's just pin that there. Got the whole troop sitting here beside me. Trouble 1 and trouble 2. All right, and we're just going to sew all the way down. Before you pin these two sides together, actually, you should add your stabilizer piece. Okay, sorry. I should. And that's only if you want to. You don't have to. I mean, it's just a chunk on the bottom that you can put a piece of cardboard in or the Mylar, and it helps stabilize the bottom to a nice firm finish. I mean, but that's, like I said, it's completely up to you. You don't have to do that. But let's do that. Let's show how to do it. So, that's the pattern. Okay, that's on the inside. So let's separate that off to the side. And then take that first pattern that you had, and you're going to mark where this is supposed to sit. Okay. Okay, even this up. Okay, so starts here. Starts here. Line it up a bit. A little pencil mark. Hold it. Fold it over. Little pencil mark. Okay, you can just do the one side. It doesn't matter. And this didn't ask for anything, heavy duty fabric or anything. It just asks you to flip and then stitch and then over. But I gave it little rolled over edges first. It didn't even say to do that. So that's what we'll do. Just give it a little fold over edge first. And then the other side. Okay. Now take this and make sure you're not getting anything else except for your lining fabric, and place it so the raw edges of the little flip side are down right at your corners. I'd say give a little flip and then pin. Okay, and then same with the other side. Give a little flip and pin. Okay. And then another one right in the center. And it should line up pretty darn close. Okay. All right. And then the same for the other side. You just want to give that little edge Just a little tuck over, about 1/4 of an inch. And you're trying to make sure you're lined up on the seam as best you can. Okay. And you just sew that down on the 2 sides, okay? Just on the 2 long sides. Okay. And then you end up slipping that little board right underneath, okay? So let's just put those there, because I think it's easier to do this now than afterwards. So let's just sew that real quick. Hopefully I have enough thread to keep me. Try and make sure you just get in the one section, just your lining, okay? Oops, that's not laying flat. That didn't lay flat either. Move that over. That was some weird. I'm like, that's not flat. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, let's go with that. It's a good thing to good bag to keep projects in. You know, if somebody's got a knitting project and it's got all the paperwork to go in it, that's a that's a nice sized bag for that. Even, you know, any other little arty project too, with, you know, cross stitch, nice cross stitch bag. Could hold like quite a bit in there, and all the needles and or some of the embroider threads and stuff can go in the pocket, and you know. I'm not quite sure what to make somebody for Christmas. This is a good one. I'm sure they can use it for all sorts of things. Travel bag, safety bag for the car. Oops, somehow I got that bottom pinned in there. Oops. Okay. There we go. So that's right in the center, and that's where you're just going to put your little piece of mylar or cardboard in there, okay? All right, so now we'll go back to stitching the right sides together, okay, down the seam, lining up those notches, the lining notches and the outer bag notches, okay? Making sure they're as lined up as you can manage to still keep it still all nice and straight down the sides, okay? Make sure you got all your 4 layers. 2 outer, 2 inner, okay? And this, if you had a serger, you could do that too. You could finish it off with a zigzag around the edge. You could use pinking shears. You could even just put binding if you wanted to bind it down. Go ahead. Even just a nice big blanket stitch or whip stitch or something like that. That would also be, you know, a nice little way to finish it off. And all the way down to there. Now let's do the same on the other side, and then we'll sew them 2 down. And I think we're done after that. I believe we are. Do. Look what we made. Made some gifts for peoples. And if you have like a finishing edge foot, you can do that too. It's if you don't have a serger, it kind of does that little stitch along the sides to get those fabrics all together. Okay, there we go. Now we got it pinned on both sides. Just stitch on down. Hopefully, if I have enough thread. Hope you really enjoyed Long Arm Wednesday's project. That was Lee Allen's project. We had a lot of fun doing that. It should be in the mail, ready to send to her. So I can't wait. Can't wait for her to get it and show pictures that it's there, and hopefully she's very happy. Because that's what makes me happy. All right, there we go. Now sew down the other side. go though. We got 2 more little seams to do just to make the bottom, and we're done. Okay, perfect. Don't forget to trim up all these wayward threads before you give it to anybody though. Okay, all right, there's our inside of our bag, okay? And I'll show you the outside in a second, but it asks us to take this bottom corner here and bring it up to the dot, to those little triangles, and then sew. I thought, okay, that's a little bizarre, but all right, we will. I've never done that before. And just to one side, it doesn't matter which side. So just do the one up to the one side. Okay, so that real quick. Ooh. Okay, and then same with the other side. Don't forget to give a little back stitch. Okay. And that is that. I believe that is our bag done. I keep hooking myself on this chair. Okay, stabilizer. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So it says from full bottom edge notches to the sides, stitch sides following previous stitches. Okay, so there we go. Turning the right side out and the wrong side in, and it gives that little corner there on the bottom. I thought, well, okay, that's kind of groovy. I like that. And then with the little stabilizer in the center, that helps stabilize the bottom of the bag. Okay, so isn't that cool? Love it. Don't forget to pop out your tops here where your zippers are. Okay, just pop those little corners right out, and look how well that is finished off. Isn't that pretty? Nice, professional. And if you wanted to give it that extra little touch, oops, I zipped it. I can't get them into my bag. You could come and do a nice stitch all the way across the top here, all the way down to the bottom right over here, and that would keep those two nice together there. It's up to you. It's not asking you to do it, but it's up to you. All right. So there's the one bag, and here's the other bag. And this is bag B of Quick Sew 3171, and yeah, I really like them. So thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. And don't forget to check us out on our live stream on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay? Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.